Welcome back to another episode of Tuesday Talks with Mom. Today, Becky and I are joined by T. Wilson out of Tennessee. Welcome to the show, T.
Hello, ladies. Thank you so much for having me. Thank
Well,
you.
we are so excited to chat with you today and to learn about your school choice journey. I just so enjoyed our conversation and hearing how God has really worked miraculously in your life. And I'm so excited for Becky and everyone else to hear it. So, T, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. I'm T. Wilson. I am the founder, CEO, and this year principal of B Academy for Girls. This has been a lifetime dream of mine since I was 14 years old and I went to an all girls school in New Orleans. I said, hey, I'm going to open my own school for girls one day, and my girls will be able to be 100% unapologetically themselves while learning in an amazing environment. Because I didn't always feel like I could be myself when I was in school. So I decided one day I wanted to open a school for girls. And then as I grew older and I went into my career, I was able to observe some of those other things that happened to me happen to girls now in this day and age. And it happened to my own daughter. My own daughter is the only girl of color in her entire 10th grade class. And she came home saying one day, Mommy, I don't want to wear braids in my hair because I feel like people are making me feel othered and I don't know. And it just triggered me because I was like, this is what I went through at her age, 32 years ago. I don't want to tell my age, but 30 something years ago. And what am I going to do about it? Like, I am not the kind of person that's just going to complain. I'm going to find a solution and try to be a part of the solution if I can. So I stepped out on faith. I had no idea how, where the money would come from or what to do. But I said, okay, God, I'm going to do what I know best, and that's marketing and branding. And so I created the brand. I applied for our 501c3, and B Academy for Girls was born. So we are a private, nonprofit, STEAM focused, culturally relevant, project based school for girls. I know that's a lot, but those are all the things that our girls need to succeed. We opened our doors thanks to the Drexel Fund. The Drexel Fund was one of the first organizations that said, hey, I think you're on to something here, T, and invested in us for us to open and to launch in August of 2024. And so we opened our doors in August of 2024 with 24 girls. And 3 weeks after the school opened, my co-founder relocated to another state. So I realized on this journey that a lot of times I'm so used to being behind the scenes that I felt like I needed a co-founder to be out front because I'm just going to work behind the scenes in secret. And I think God
Mhm.
said, no, that's not where I want you to be. I need you to be out front. And so when she left, it did take a big toll on our progress. And I really felt like maybe we may lose everything. Like I would have to give up because when she left, we did lose a lot of our staff. We lost half of our girls, which meant we lost a great portion of our tuition each month. And so it is December 2024, a few months after my school opened, where I am like, oh God, what am I going to do? Is my dream over because of this? And I got down on my knees in the school one day in the dark. I'll never forget this. It was pitch black, and I truly had no idea what to do next. And I just said, okay, God, I surrender this entire dream to you. Whatever you want it to look like, if you want me to stop, if you want me to keep going, just help me. Just tell me what to do. And I did. And I feel like that was the first time in my life where I actually 100% surrendered. In the past, I
Wow.
said that I surrendered, but I really didn't. I still tried to control everything. But
Hmm.
in this instance, I truly could not control anything. It was completely surrendered, everything. And there was this relief that came over me. Even though nothing was worked out in the moment after I prayed, it just felt like everything's going to be okay no matter what happens. And then within a few days later, I get this email from someone that I never met before. Her name is Juanita Todd. She's here right now. I wish you guys could meet her because she is my guardian angel. But she emailed me and she said, hey, I love what you're doing with your school. Can I volunteer?
Oh,
Can I
those are
do
the best.
this is the best. And she said, can I do something for Christmas for your girls? And I said, yeah, because this might be our last time all together. Because out of the 24 girls that I first had, only 13 stayed. And I'm so grateful for those families.
That's
They
right.
dug their heels in and they said, no, T, we're with you. We believe in you. We got you. And so I said, let's do this Christmas party because if everything doesn't go well, this might be the last time my girls will be together. So Miss Juanita Todd came in and she gave us this amazing Christmas party. We had gifts for all the girls donated from the Nashville Business Incubation Center. We had an amazing time. And then at the end, Miss Juanita said, well, thank you so much. Let me know if I could come back and help you with anything else. And I just collapsed in her arms. Like I just
Isn't
sobbed.
that something? Isn't that something? You know, it's amazing, and I'm gonna stop you there for a second before we continue. It's amazing, when you're given a dream, a vision, a goal, and then you realize you're not to carry that whole weight by yourself. And when you realize that, I think Becky and I both have had those moment experiences where you do have to surrender, and surrendering is
It
hard,
is so hard.
It
right?
is
It's so hard.
very,
And then
very
when you do, I've always told people, when you stand there clutching your pearls, just clutching them, nothing can get into your palms, nothing can get into your hands. But when you open them up and you surrender it, the overflow is so abundant. And
oh my
T,
gosh.
I was so moved by your story up to that point because I don't think our listeners can understand unless they've been there,
Right,
when the rug gets pulled out from underneath you, how very difficult that is. And we know, you and I know how hard it is to come up with the funding and
right.
the support and feeling like you're all alone and you're
Yes,
feeling like Atlas, you got the world on your back,
yes,
your shoulder blades are caving in and nobody's
yes,
coming along to say, "Hey, I'll carry that for you."
yes,
And then
yes.
along comes a little
Ooh,
miracle. And you
yes.
were you were able to recognize it, T, because
Immediately, like,
immediately, right?
mhm.
So
Yeah,
I just
she
that's
amazing.
amazing. Go ahead. Tell us what happened. Tell us what happened after that.
Yeah, you're talking, you're gonna make me cry. I'm trying not to cry, but God is real. Like I
Mhm.
just don't know how else to explain it because I was really at my wits' end. I was at the bottom and not knowing how to continue. And Miss Juanita Todd came along after I prayed for help. She came into the school. She said, "What do you need? I got you. What is going on?" Because she had no idea any of this was going on. So when I finally told her the whole story, she was like, "We're going to make this work." And she found me additional teachers that said, "T, just pay me what you can pay me for right now. Just pay me what you can afford." My parents dug their heels in and they supported us. They organized the whole school and they made sure we had everything that we need. And the teachers stepped up and the girls were resilient. And the next thing I knew, I was applying for the Yaz Prize. And so we were selected out
I
of
love
hundreds
it.
of schools.
I love it.
Yeah, so that was in January 2024. I applied for the Yaz Prize that spring and that summer. And I thought, hey, at least I'll be on their radar for when we're, really ready and, at least they'll know who we are. So
Mhm.
we got selected out of thousands of schools to be one of the top 23
Oh my
schools in the
gosh.
nation considered for the Yaz Prize, $1 million prize. It was just like, God, okay, now I understand. You needed me to completely surrender to you and trust you and
Yep.
do my part while you continue to do your part. And that is when things just completely shifted for us. And so not only did we become a semifinalist and won $100,000 with the Yaz Prize, but now
Unbelievable.
we're also a part of the Yaz Family Network, and it has truly been a game changer for my school. We tripled in enrollment in a year. So we went from 13 girls to 40 girls this year. We're enrolling another 25 girls next year. So we'll have 65 girls next year. And
That's
that's only because
amazing.
of the limited space. Like we don't have
Right.
space.
Right.
I have a wait list of over 100 girls, but I don't have space for
Yeah.
all of those
Yeah.
girls. And so for me to go from December 2024 on my knees, not knowing if my dream would even continue, to now being a Yas Prize alumni, to now being featured on the Today Show
That's
this
right.
past week,
That's
couple weeks
right.
ago.
How amazing is that, T? Let
Yeah,
me say that I think one of the things that you said today, just now, was you said, "Now you're the principal."
yeah,
And you said before, "I thought I just wanted to be behind the scenes." But you know what? By you stepping out in faith in so many ways, right? In so many ways, stepping out and digging rolling up your sleeves, digging in the dirt, becoming the principal, getting yourself out there. Your parents at that school and these volunteers that came along and these people in your community, they saw by your example what can happen when your heart and your mind and your ambition is put out there for these children. You see, and that's what we all need to do, is to get out there and say, these kids, not only your daughter, but all these other children, starting with 13, growing now to soon to be 65, these children matter and their education matters. And when you're
Yes,
willing to put yourself on the line like that, you're going to shine brightly like a star in the night, and people are going to be drawn to you. They're going to want to come along, because you see, our greatest asset is our children, and making sure that they feel valued and loved and revered, because then they're going to go on and do great things too. So
absolutely.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited. I told you last week, I said, you're now a mom on a mission with Becky and I, moving
Yes,
and shaking and making it happen, because there's people in your Tennessee neighborhood that need you, and
absolutely.
they need your girls, and they need your school choice option,
Oh my God, yes, it's
right?
so important. It's so important. And sometimes I feel like I'm fighting a battle against my own community because there's so many people that are against school choice programs. And I'm like, but my girls would not have this
Right,
opportunity without education scholarship program here in Tennessee. Like these are girls who need smaller class sizes. They
right,
need more tailored instruction and personalized attention. They need projects. They need field
right,
trips. They need all of
right.
the things that we offer them. If it was not for school choice programs, they would not have that option. And so I just want to let everyone know that it does work for our children and it changes the trajectory of their future and their lives because I see it every day right here in my school.
And
I
I
love
just
it.
have to
Oh my
add,
God.
I have to add, well, first of all, T, congratulations on
Thank you.
this success. I mean, in being a Yas alumni, that's huge. So congratulations. But I
Thank
also want to
you.
dovetail on what something Tara said. Yes, the community needs these girls. These girls graduating and becoming successful people, but parents also need to witness the success of this, because your story is impacting people beyond what you even know, and you are
Right.
inspiring parents who also would rather be in
Behind the
behind the
scenes.
scenes. Yeah, they want to be behind the
Yep.
scenes,
Right.
and
Right.
maybe
Yeah.
that's not for them. Maybe they are supposed to be in front, and your
Right.
story is inspiring those parents. So I that's huge.
Yes. I have so many parents that say, well, I've never been to a private school. I can't afford a private school. My child, my family is never considered. And I have to say, well, you should because you
Right.
can.
That's
And
right.
it blows their mind that they are now able to, be able to participate in this educational experience for their child. And they're learning too. We offer wraparound services for parents as well. So it's
That's
very important for the whole community to understand that these girls get what they need. They become positive contributors to the community that they live
yes.
in and it helps the entire
Yes.
city, the whole region. Yeah.
Everybody benefits. And I've had so many parents say, "Oh, but you have this special." I said, "No, I don't. I was a mom in the middle of nowhere, Ohio, who wanted her
Right.
child to learn how to read." And you're a mom in the middle of Tennessee wanting your daughter to feel valued and
Yeah.
to experience her full potential and own who she is as a person. And Becky, you're a mom in Missouri,
Mhm.
who said, "My daughter needs something else." And so I think our message is to these other moms and dads out there, you don't need anything special. You need the love of your child. You need the doors of opportunity to be opened within your state to be able to choose the
Mhm.
proper and correct education for your child.
Yep.
And
Right.
then you need to go ahead to just step forward and say, I'm going to do this, because there's
And you
other
need to
moms.
know that you're worthy. You need to know
Right.
that you're worthy. Yeah, a
That's
lot of my
right.
parents don't know that they're worthy for this experience too. So it
That's
starts.
right. They feel left behind, and I remember crying at this very desk thinking, "There are no options for my son." And
Yes.
and who am I being told, "Well, you don't have all those letters behind your name." And finally, yeah, and finally finding somebody that said, "You know what? I'll teach you everything I know, because you don't
Right.
have time to go back to school.
Right.
I'm gonna
Right.
teach you everything you need to know, because we're gonna
Right.
get them educated," right? So,
Yeah, I got
I
that too. Yeah, because
yes,
I was in marketing and communications. They're like,
right.
"You're winning education." I'm like, it doesn't matter. I know what my girls need, and I
That's
do have a
right.
new
I know what they need. And if I can't do it, I'm savvy enough. I'm going to find somebody who's
figure it
willing to do it. That's right. I'm going to figure it out. I love it. T, with Tennessee has some limited, some school choice options. Becky, I don't know if you have that in front of you and you want to touch on that, or T, if you want to talk about how any of those school choice options help your school. Do you receive
Oh,
any? Go ahead.
yes, the majority of our students are on an education savings account program here in Tennessee. In
Okay.
Tennessee, we have two programs. We have education savings account, which is for Davidson County students,
Okay.
and then we have the education freedom scholarship, which is statewide. And
Okay.
so these programs, if it was not for the education savings account, there would be no B Academy. It funds about 75% of our operating budget.
That's
And
excellent.
it is a game changer because immediately when parents see private school, they think that that is inaccessible to them,
Right.
that their child could never. And I say, yes, we can. Let's talk about it. And their eyes, you could see some of them well up with emotion because they realize it's actually possible. And so you have girls who were at schools that a lot of our girls and parents come to us with education trauma from where they
Yep.
were.
Yep.
And you get here, and I usually have to spend some time before we can get to reading and writing and arithmetic. We need to talk about healing. We need to talk about trauma informed care. We need to make sure that our girls understand that they're safe and they're loved and they have grace here and they're not being
Right.
suspended here.
That's
They're
right.
being loved and understood. And so, without those school choice programs, the girls that truly need this experience would not be able to afford it. I am not an advocate for any particular system. I'm an advocate for each individual child and
Right.
what that child needs. If that child is thriving at a public school, they could stay there. But if that child needs something different, that child should be able to achieve that. So it's
I
been a
love
game.
it. I
Yeah,
love it. T, that was something that you and I resonated together on, and Becky shares that same sentiment. We're not advocating, excuse me, for one certain option. We're advocating for whatever option suits your family, and that
right.
the parents really should be the driver of that proverbial bus.
That's right.
And so we need to be given that opportunity to choose that. One thing that I'm really excited about is the federal tax credit scholarship
Yeah,
that's coming out, and I'm hopeful that every governor in every state will opt into that, because that is just a sandwiched effect on
it's
top of
amazing.
what's already available. And for some states, let's think about this. Some states don't have anything. Some
Right, right.
states legislators are saying, yeah, we don't think you're capable, or we just don't want to do that. And we're saying, you know what? Our federal government said parents should have a choice,
That's
and
right.
we're going to create a tax credit scholarship to be able to allow individual citizens to contribute to open doors of opportunity. And just like you told me about the Drexel coming in and helping you get started, I mean,
Mhm.
what a gift, what a godsend then. So
Yes,
I look at this tax credit scholarship as an opportunity for us nationwide to provide school choice options for all students. Wouldn't
I
you
do.
agree?
I'm so excited about it. I guess my only fear is that little schools like mine would get left out.
No.
I believe that Tennessee will opt in. I'm confident that our legislators, our governor, will be able to see the value in this.
Mhm.
I know that the SGOs that participate have to be selected, and I'm like, well, where does that leave a brand new school or a small school like B Academy? So I'm hoping that there's opportunities in place for even my students to be able to benefit from such a program because it's a game changer across the board for our
It
schools.
it really is. And T, I think the prescription in order to make that happen. You did it before, you can do it again. I
That's
say
right.
I say get out get out on the prayer line for that. Well,
That's right.
is there any message, Becky or T, that you guys would like to leave for any family in Tennessee listening to this, or any family across the nation that mom that's sitting there? I mean, we've already kind of touched on it, but is there any last minute piece that you want to just say, hey, I want you to take this nugget home with you? Let's start with Becky.
I thank you, Tara. I just want to say that this is such a great example of what happens when moms move.
Yep. Yep.
And I'm going to leave it at that because I'm sure T has much better words than I do right now. I'm very I'll be honest, I'm very emotional listening to this because there's there's a whole generation of girls that have hope and that
Yep.
are going to get the education that they deserve. And this is going to change their families and future families.
That's
Yeah,
right. T,
yeah.
anything you'd like to
Mean,
add?
I'm emotional too because this is it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. But I wouldn't change it for anything because I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So my message to parents is to know deep down in your heart that you have the courage, you have the strength, you have the knowledge to advocate for your own child and for every child in your community. Don't think because you don't have the education or you haven't read the books or because you don't have the degrees behind your name that you can't step into this issue and advocate for the children in your community that really need it. It's not about being anti public school or charter school, it's about being pro child.
That's right.
And so my message would be to every parent is to step up, speak out, and be there for your kids and the other kids who can't, that don't have the voice that you have. Be their voice when they can't be.
I love it. And I share those sentiments. Thank you, T. Thank you, Becky. I share those sentiments. Moms and dads, this is all about you, and your children are depending upon you. And the very first step is the hardest, but there's others like us out there that are will come alongside you and encourage you and let you know you are enough. You are the child's parent, their very best advocate. And so T, I am so excited that you were willing to step out in faith, that you took the hardest first step, and that you continued to keep going boldly, step after step, even when you thought that it was over. You did not accept it as being over, because these girls, this community, and even those that are listening to this program today will be better for it and because of it. So I thank you. Thank you for
Thank,
tuning in to Tuesday Talks with Mom, and we look forward to seeing you back again at another episode.
thank you, ladies. Have a great day.